It has to be you next. There's no one else. It's one of the biggest fights the UFC can do. You versus Ilya, if he wins, and I think he's gonna win. It's a gigantic fight.
Can you imagine me versus Ilya on the White House? Everybody gonna talk about that fight.
White House, no White House.
Yeah.
Who cares? Put it anywhere. Put it in Madrid.
Yeah, great fight. Because we are both young, on our prime. Like 50% gonna think I'm gonna win, 50% gonna think Ilya gonna win, and it's gonna be like a massive fight.
I have enough money to buy it, so I don't need to be an ambassador, so I don't need for gift for them, so I can go to the store and buy as much as it costs, you know. So thank you, Arab, as well.
Armin back here. Before RAF6, at the pre-match press conference, I asked you about some comments Ilya Topuria made, saying that you would panic in a fight with him, and you said, let me beat the bodybuilder, and that'll answer that question. Now you beat him twice. Can we get that response? Can we get the answer to what Ilya Topuria had to say about you?
So he has a coming up fight, and now he's saying, yeah, if UFC tell me fight Arman, I'll take it. But he has a fight coming up. I'm a backup for that fight. I'm gonna be ready if something happens. I'll take that chance and jump in, and I'm gonna stay active. Maybe I'll do RAF next month or maybe in the May. So we'll see when it's Kobe Covington is ready, when he's gonna be done with his drinking beer and lay down on the beach and do extra exercises during the night. So
I'm doing what real American patriots would do, drinking real American beer. Hey, if you want to become 200% American, Armin, you need a real American beer zero.
Yeah, bro.
This isn't going to affect your cardio, bro.
Bro, you have already stomach. There is no six packs anymore, bro. Like,
hey, bro,
you gotta get, you know, I'm not Dylan Dennis, first of all. I'm a legit wrestler,
hey,
so you gotta keep training.
I'm not a bodybuilder influencer. I'm a legit wrestler and a 4-time challenger in the UFC.
Yes, you are, but if you're gonna like keep doing that same thing, you're gonna lose me. But
no,
so I'm saying I wanna have like a real.
Let's tear into the real story here, fight fanatics, because the lightweight scene is reaching a boiling point that nobody saw coming. Arman Tsarukyan just unleashed news that's going to turn everything upside down in the most spectacular way possible. He's been officially selected by the UFC as the backup for that earth-shattering Justin Gaethje versus Ilya Topuria showdown that has the entire MMA world buzzing. This goes way beyond some wishful thinking or a fighter crossing his fingers hoping for a miracle call. We're talking about Tsarukyan being locked, loaded, and positioned to jump in at a moment's notice if the universe decides to throw us a curveball. Picture the absolute pandemonium if Arman gets that phone call and has to jet off to step into the biggest fight of his career on short notice. This situation represents far more than just a backup role or emergency option. It's Arman's golden ticket to title contention, a pathway that hinges entirely on his readiness to seize whatever opportunity the UFC throws his direction. We're witnessing a fighter who could legitimately be battling for championship gold much faster than anybody in the combat sports world anticipated, and that's precisely what makes this development so monumentally important.
A question, so yeah, I'm ready for Ilya, no matter when, but like I know UFC has a different plans for me, so after White House they're gonna announce who I'm gonna fight next.
We talked about what's going on next for me.
So you did speak, but just not there?
Yeah.
Okay, how did that go?
Good. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna train to be in shape. If something happened in main event in White House, I'll be back up, so I'll fight there. And then they announced my next fight after when Ilya versus Gaethje, when they fight. After that, they announced my next fight.
Now check this out, because this footage reveals something absolutely incredible about Arman's inner circle relationship with UFC leadership that's completely captivating when you dissect it properly. He declares with rock-solid certainty that he'll most likely face whoever emerges victorious from the Gaethje-Topuria war, which aligns perfectly with his current ranking and impressive win streak. But then he drops hints about alternative scenarios that could unfold in this volatile situation, and immediately after teasing those possibilities, he clams up with an almost rehearsed sounding, "I'm not allowed to reveal what those scenarios are." This isn't some fighter playing coy with journalists or manufacturing drama for social media buzz. It actually indicates that the UFC has developed some seriously complex blueprints for his career trajectory behind closed doors, possibly extending far beyond the straightforward title eliminator fight that everyone's expecting. Could this suggest there's a potential express lane to another major opponent if Gaethje or Topuria find themselves sidelined for extended periods due to injuries or unforeseen complications? The mystery and intrigue surrounding these alternative scenarios he references only intensifies the speculation about Arman's immediate trajectory and solidifies his pivotal position in determining how the lightweight division's upcoming saga will play out. There's definitely something major cooking behind the scenes that hasn't been revealed to the public yet.
Is it fair to assume you're fighting the winner of that fight?
Most likely.
Okay, so are you okay with that?
There is a couple different things that can happen.
Oh, really? Like what? Could you tell us?
No, because they told me I cannot tell what
Okay, no, it's okay.
But can be good.
Okay.
Should be good.
I saw you at the event. You had the handcuffs on.
The fighter makes it abundantly clear during this discussion that while he absolutely loves his wrestling competitions for the pure joy of competing, the financial benefits they provide, and to maintain peak activity levels without absorbing the brutal punishment that comes with MMA warfare, the UFC remains his absolute top priority and central obsession. This revelation is essential intelligence for supporters who might be questioning his dedication level, particularly with a potential championship opportunity materializing on the horizon in the coming months. He's avoiding getting his face rearranged, he's not enduring extreme weight cuts for these wrestling competitions, and he's maintaining his competitive instincts at maximum sharpness through continuous high-level competition. This calculated methodology guarantees he remains physically sound and mentally driven for the unforgiving world of mixed martial arts, where a single miscalculation can destroy years of hard work instantly. He's demonstrating the mindset of a strategic fighter who truly comprehends how to optimize his professional trajectory beyond the cage, all while maintaining his laser focus on that UFC lightweight championship gold that he's been pursuing relentlessly for years.
My main thing is UFC, and it's just side quest, and I just make money, have fun, you know, because wrestling, you don't get hurt and you don't get punched. So it's just go there, make have fun, make money, and travel around the US, you know. It's so fun, good show, and it's easy for my mentality too, you know. When you fight every month, you cannot, because it's hard, you know. If you lose, it's a lot of pressure on you, but wrestling, it's no pressure. You go there, just wrestle, you know.
Arman's raw authenticity absolutely radiates as he dissects the current landscape of American UFC talent with surgical precision and zero filter, labeling fighters like Chandler and Colby as complete wash-ups when it comes to generating real excitement and pay-per-view sales is an incredibly gutsy proclamation that most professionals wouldn't risk making in public, but it emphasizes his bigger argument about the shortage of legitimate US megastars in mixed martial arts currently. This reality directly influences how the UFC constructs its most significant events like UFC 300 and those massive revenue-generating spectacles, and it perfectly explains why someone like Justin Gaethje, despite being a veteran who's been competing forever, remains absolutely crucial to the organization's success. He's the reliable attraction who fills arenas and convinces fans to purchase pay-per-views consistently. This backdrop is essential for grasping the genuine significance of the Gaethje vs Topuria collision and why it represents such a colossal event, and why Arman's preparedness as an alternate isn't just about his personal career ambitions, but about the UFC's tactical planning for their most important shows and maintaining their lightweight division's mainstream appeal and commercial viability.
And you need the USA, especially it's hard to pick like USA fighters right now, because not a lot of superstars from US. John Jones is gone. Chandler, he's trash can. Who else? Colby, trash can.
Sean O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley, good.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
Who else?
Kayla Harrison injured.
Yeah, she's injured.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
It's just Gaethje. That's why they put Gaethje there. And yeah, Sean O'Malley.
Holy hell, if Ilia Topuria succeeds in winning this battle, he's going to transform into an absolute phenomenon on a scale we've never witnessed before. This moment showcases our fighter's supreme confidence and reveals exactly what he thinks about his standing in this weight class hierarchy. He passionately believes that his potential collision with Ilia Topuria transcends just being another big fight that fans would enjoy watching, but represents genuinely one of the most explosive matchups the UFC could possibly create right now across any division. His focus on both athletes being youthful competitors in their absolute physical and mental prime highlights the historic importance of such a confrontation for the sport's long-term future. This extends far beyond just championship hardware and who gets to claim it. It's about a watershed moment for the entire lightweight landscape, a genuine changing of the guard from the veteran establishment, or an epic clash for absolute dominance among the emerging elite. His forecast of a dead-even fan split regarding who they'd support only magnifies the anticipation surrounding this potential showdown, indicating a matchup so perfectly balanced that it would be a guaranteed instant masterpiece that the MMA community would dissect for decades. This represents truly the confrontation that every hardcore fan desperately wants to witness unfold.
Problem gonna have my fans with UFC. Me, I'll stay out of the problem.
There's no one else. It's one of the biggest fights the UFC can do. You versus Ilya, if he wins, and I think he's gonna win. It's a gigantic fight.
Yeah, can imagine me versus Ilya on the White House. Everybody gonna talk about that fight.
White House, no White House.
Yeah.
Who cares? Put it anywhere. Put it in Madrid.
Yeah, great fight because we are both on young and on our prime, and like 50% gonna think I'm gonna win, 50%.
Arman's analysis of Ilia Topuria potentially climbing to welterweight to pursue an unprecedented third championship belt demonstrates surprisingly sophisticated thinking and genuine strategic awareness. He views it as an undeniably brilliant financial decision for Ilia to generate massive revenue even if he suffers defeat in that welterweight challenge, which represents a fascinating perspective on risk versus reward calculations. But the ultimate treasure, as Arman emphasizes with unwavering certainty, lies in the legendary status and historical immortality that accompanies capturing 3 championship belts across separate weight divisions, an achievement that remains completely unprecedented in UFC history. This demonstrates Arman's comprehensive grasp of the broader legacy competition that elite athletes engage in, far beyond simple victory and defeat statistics. While he obviously wants to battle Ilia immediately and secure that enormous payday and recognition, he acknowledges the ambition and potential rewards for Topuria in advancing to a higher weight class, which paradoxically could postpone their inevitable confrontation for many months or potentially longer, especially if Ilia discovers genuine success in the heavier division and chooses to establish permanent residence there.
I think if it's gonna be smart for him to move up and make a lot of money. And even if he loses to Islam, people say, oh, you know, he take the chance to fight for the third belt. And can imagine if he beat Islam, he's gonna be a legend in this sport. You know, 3 belts. No one done it before.
But that means if you would
move up there and claim victory, then you won't get the opportunity to face him. This represents a direct challenge from Arman to the entire lightweight hierarchy and everyone paying attention. He's not simply discussing being a legitimate contender or someone who eventually deserves an opportunity. He's proclaiming himself the inevitable ruler of the lightweight division and the upcoming champion. His irritation with aging veterans like Gaethje and Oliveira continuously receiving title shot opportunities isn't just pride or youthful overconfidence speaking, it's a sincere conviction supported by his performances that the division desperately needs fresh energy at the championship level competing for gold. This philosophy perfectly captures his determination and appetite to overthrow the established power structure that's maintained control for years. If the UFC genuinely wants to introduce a new chapter for the lightweight division and develop new superstars, Arman envisions himself as the undeniable ruler waiting in the shadows, prepared to defeat anyone who blocks his path, including the eventual victor of Gaethje versus Topuria, regardless of who emerges triumphant. His hunger and self-confidence absolutely pulse through every syllable he utters.
Our division is gonna change soon, so and the king is gonna be me. And we're gonna have the big new names that coming up, you know, because I don't know why they give these old guys chances.
Arman's conversation about a potential wrestling showdown with Colby Covington, who remains an active UFC competitor in a separate weight category, exposes crucial understanding about his personal brand development and the UFC's changing position on external activities for their contracted fighters. He argues the UFC should definitely permit this matchup to occur, pointing to their different weight divisions and Colby's declining contender status as his primary justifications for why it's logical. This transcends simply earning easy supplemental income without absorbing genuine physical damage. It's about Arman's tactical intelligence continuously operating to advance his professional trajectory. He's expanding his public profile and name recognition, maintaining consistent activity and media presence, and challenging himself in various competitive arenas, all while intelligently managing the potential risks to his MMA aspirations. It also reveals a confidence that borders on contempt toward Covington's current abilities, which only intensifies the excitement for his primary UFC objectives and what he's truly capable of accomplishing when his championship opportunity finally arrives.
To be honest, I don't know what's going on. If UFC let us do this, would be great, because we fight in the different weights. I fight in 155, he fights in 170, so, and we're never gonna fight each other, and right now he's not on that level, even like contender anymore. He's just a regular fighter.
Arman becomes absolutely merciless in this portion, reinforcing his brutal evaluation of Colby Covington's current skill level and career trajectory. He creates an image of Colby as a simple payday opponent for a wrestling contest, essentially dismissing him as more of a fitness enthusiast who consumes alcohol daily rather than training like a legitimate professional athlete anymore. This isn't merely promotional talking for media attention or attempting to create buzz. It's Arman displaying his absolute confidence in his wrestling superiority, a talent he knows will prove absolutely vital against strikers like Gaethje or Topuria when his title opportunity materializes. It also subtly reinforces his conviction that these supplementary wrestling ventures represent genuinely minimal risk activities that won't compromise his MMA ambitions. Such a forceful declaration against a recognizable UFC personality like Covington certainly maintains attention on Arman and develops his reputation as an unstoppable force who's prepared for any challenge. Excellent, very solid evaluation of the circumstances. Did Colby contact you about his reaction to your comments?
Who has a name, and he can talk a lot, so we can bring a lot of eyes and make it something big. And it's easy money for me, you know. I just go there, wrestle with a bodybuilder, and now I'm gonna wrestle with Colby. It's like the beer guy, drinking beer every day and doing extra exercises during the night, never train. So easy money for me.
Are you or your team going?
You need to request permission from the UFC before proceeding with this venture. This conversation illuminates the dynamics of Arman's professional relationship with UFC management and their perspective on his outside pursuits. It's cooperative and founded on genuine mutual respect. His declaration that if they advised me against wrestling, I would immediately cease wrestling proves his ultimate allegiance to the organization that compensates him and provides career opportunities. The reality that they haven't instructed him to abandon these wrestling competitions represents a massive endorsement from the UFC, indicating that his wrestling activities aren't perceived as interference with his MMA career, but potentially as an intelligent method to maintain his activity level, competitive sharpness, and public visibility until his next major UFC opportunity materializes. It demonstrates the UFC completely trusts him to handle his career responsibly and make sound judgments, understanding his ultimate objective remains their lightweight championship and progressing toward that ambition. This mutual comprehension and respect proves essential for his career development, as he anticipates the Gaethje versus Topuria situation to resolve and determine his next position in the title picture.
With you need to do this, none of that stuff.
No. But if they told me I shouldn't wrestle, they just gonna call me and tell me. But they let me do this, I'll do it. You know, if they gonna say, Arman, you shouldn't wrestle anymore, I'm not gonna wrestle, because my main thing is you.
Arman's harsh evaluation of Max Holloway being completely finished and no longer the dominant force that controlled the featherweight landscape represents a striking perspective from an active contender who studies these competitions intensively. While it's certainly a severe judgment to render about a combat sports icon, it reflects the ruthless nature of elite MMA competition and Arman's uncompromising analytical perspective. He's not exclusively concentrated on his personal journey and training regimen, he's constantly assessing everyone at the division's peak and spotting vulnerabilities. His logic, derived specifically from Holloway's most recent fight showing, demonstrates a competitor who doesn't soften his opinions even when discussing legends who have achieved remarkable accomplishments throughout their careers. This type of unforgiving honesty provides genuine insight into Arman's competitive mentality and his approach to championship-level competition. He identifies weaknesses in every opponent and remains prepared to exploit them, whether within his lightweight division or simply analyzing other weight classes and fighter performances.
Yeah, Max is done already. He's just going make money and then retire.
You think he's finished?
Yeah, he's not that Max anymore.
Okay. What makes you say that? Because in his
He
last
looks
fight...
so bad with...
Yeah.
This segment perfectly demonstrates why Arman Tsarukyan represents such a terrifying challenge in the lightweight division, and why striking specialists should fear facing him. His amazement at Max Holloway attempting absolutely zero wrestling attacks against Charles Oliveira reveals everything about his personal confidence in his grappling abilities and the significance he assigns to possessing a complete fighting toolkit. He carefully examines how Oliveira, who built his reputation primarily as a submission specialist from his back, managed to control Holloway on the ground like he was conducting a seminar in wrestling fundamentals and positional dominance. This isn't merely criticism for entertainment value, it's a tactical breakdown of the contest that demonstrates his fighting intelligence. Arman is exposing a core vulnerability in pure striking specialists that he, an elite wrestler with superior ground skills, would ruthlessly capitalize on given the chance. This analysis confirms that against strikers like Gaethje or even Topuria, who prefer maintaining distance on their feet, Arman's wrestling could serve as the decisive weapon and advantage, transforming him into an absolute nightmare matchup for anyone lacking elite defensive wrestling skills.
I was surprised how you cannot wrestle, like zero wrestling. You've been in this sport like 20 years and like you cannot even like defend takedown from Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira has no takedowns. He has good like jiu-jitsu, but like wrestling, I've never seen him wrestle very well. But he cut him down like he was like a masterclass, you know, from wrestling from Charles.
Yeah.
And I believed he would disappear and focus on improving his skills for 2 or 3 years before returning stronger. This passionate declaration from Arman isn't just self-promotion or empty boasting without substance. It's a defiant proclamation of his undeniable ascent through the lightweight hierarchy that nobody can dispute when examining his actual record. He methodically chronicles his climb up the rankings, breaking down his progression step by step. I started in the top 15 of the division, then I defeated the fighter ranked number 14, then I conquered the number 1 ranked fighter, who was Charles Oliveira, a former champion. This isn't hypothetical future strategizing, this represents his genuine track record of achievements, reaching its pinnacle with his commanding performance and victory over Charles Oliveira that cemented his position at the division's absolute summit. It's an unmistakable message to UFC matchmakers, to Gaethje, to Topuria, and to every other contender in the weight class. He's earned his standing through decisive victories, demonstrated his capabilities against the world's elite fighters, and now stands unquestionably prepared for that title opportunity he's been pursuing relentlessly. This systematic advancement through the rankings explains exactly why he feels undervalued by the UFC, and why he demands to be the next fighter competing for that championship gold.
Bro, I was beating everybody. Like, what do you mean? I was top 15, I beat top 14. I was top 14, I beat top 13. I was top 13, I beat top 10. I was top 10, I beat top 5. I was top 5, I beat top...
Expanding on his previous frustration about the same veterans receiving repeated opportunities, Arman articulates a compelling vision for what the lightweight division requires moving forward, which involves emerging talents getting genuine chances to prove their worth at the championship level. He's promoting a complete revolution of the division, proposing that fighters ascending the rankings like himself deserve opportunities to challenge the established top 5 competitors more regularly, instead of witnessing identical matchups recycled endlessly. This transcends just his personal career development and obtaining what he believes he's earned. It's a comprehensive critique of the UFC's matchmaking philosophy and their method of developing championship contenders. For audiences watching at home, this message strikes a powerful chord because everyone craves witnessing fresh confrontations and new champions rising to maintain excitement levels. It positions Arman directly at the forefront of this emerging generation of fighters, proving he's prepared to face anyone in that top 5, including current division leaders like Gaethje and Topuria, to genuinely transform the names at the division's peak and introduce a revolutionary era.
Yeah, but we need new names like the new names coming up and give them chance, you know, like for example from top 10, top 15, someone who just got there, give them a chance to fight with top 5 and like maybe switch the names.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, it's about damn time. This final glimpse into Armin's psychology proves absolutely captivating and reveals a level of self-awareness most competitors simply don't possess. He openly declares that he wants to become a superstar before I compete for the championship, which represents a truly unique philosophy. This isn't solely about winning fights and securing that gold around his waist. It's about creating a lasting legacy, developing drawing power, and maximizing the significance of that title fight when it eventually occurs. He comprehends that a championship fight represents a career-defining moment for any fighter, but a title fight accompanied by massive fan investment and pay-per-view success is what creates immortal legends that are celebrated forever. His ambition to attract countless viewers to his competitions and astound UFC executives with his popularity explosion in the American market demonstrates a fighter who isn't just technically brilliant inside the octagon, but also remarkably business-minded outside of it. This strategic methodology for developing his career, merging elite performance with relentless self-marketing and maintaining constant public visibility, ensures that whether he ends up substituting for Gaethje or Topuria as backup or battles the victor eventually, Armin Tsarukyan will represent an unstoppable presence in the lightweight division that the UFC can construct around for many years ahead.
I want to like become a star before I fight for the title and bring so much eyes they're gonna be shocked that people love me in US.
I feel like you're there already. I think you've done it.